Has somebody ever hurt you so bad that you just felt like you were never going to be able to forgive them? Well, 25 years ago today, I was hit by a drunk driver. While I was riding my bike, I was 12 years old, and I was paralyzed from the waist down. And I've had to forgive that man every single day that I wake up. It's completely possible. You can move on and you can have a life of peace. And I'm going to show you how. Happen. Right there to the left of that little Miami watershed sign, say about the fourth or fifth pillar to the right. I went over that railing and was coming from the neighborhood over there to the left. It's going to be coming down this street and then just going into this neighborhood to the left. And that's where he hit me. As a Christian, I feel like forgiving the guy who hit me was like this long, drawn-out process. Now that I can look back at it after 25 years, and I kept thinking about the moment I woke up in that hospital, about the passage in Matthew where Peter approaches Jesus and says, "Jesus, how many times am I supposed to forgive my brother or sister? Up to 7 times?" And Jesus goes, "No, not up to 7 times, but 70 times 7. That's 490 times. And that bothered me for a little bit because I didn't really understand why you needed to forgive someone 490 times. Until I got paralyzed. Then I finally realized that some crimes, some problems, some wrongs are repetitive. They're destructive over time. And so I forgave Mark for hitting me a long time ago. It probably took me a few years to actually come to grips with truly forgiving him. But I finally was able to forgive Mark. That was just the first stage. This second stage of forgiveness came many years later with the realization that it wasn't going to change. I wasn't going to ever be different, and I started to really need to let Mark go inside of my own head. He deserved it, and so did I. Sometimes that's the story that people have about forgiveness. Sometimes it's just you're wronged. There's nothing you can do about it. So when I was in seminary, I had this guy that was a part of my Bible study group, and he had asked if myself and another guy wanted to head down to a prison ministry, and we get to this absolutely massive prison called the Cofield Unit, and we go inside. We walk into this huge chapel. It's gorgeous that they built attached to this prison, and he starts to talk to the inmates. They sit down for the service. He gives his testimony, the other guy gives his, and then I give mine. I'm telling my story about how I was hit by this drunk driver and went through these first 2 stages of forgiveness, and how they could be forgiven too if they gave their life to Christ, that God would forgive them as well for everything that they've ever done and ever will do, because he desperately wanted to be connected to us. And when I was done, I had these 4 enormous men come up to me just shedding tears. And I was baffled. They didn't know that they could be forgiven for the things they had done, for the people that they had hurt. They didn't know it was possible. And that is the message of Christ. That is the message of Christ, to know that no matter how wrong or how bad or what you've done, you can find forgiveness. It's the only thing that'll bring rest to your soul. It's the only thing that'll give you peace. It's the true Sabbath, coming to the Lord and understanding forgiveness, understanding that you've been forgiven. And to be a part of that, to know that I could have that kind of impact on someone's life with my story, that I could be used by God in that way. Bring it on. Bring it on. I don't need to walk through the rest of this life in order to do anything else. That's as much meaning as I need in my life, is to know that I can be a part of that story. To know that other people can find forgiveness and see that it's possible. So if you struggle with forgiveness, maybe you need to forgive someone else in your life. Maybe you need forgiveness for something. Know that the God of this universe, the creator of everything, loves you deeply, and he sent his son Jesus to die for you. The ultimate forgiveness. I'll be doing more of these videos in the near future. They're going to be on different topics, so I hope you guys follow along. Until next time.